So it's very easy now to know the central crown is a trinity, right?
Yeah.
And then foundation is a trinity. Yeah. And then I was thinking about the trinity that we have in love. The third trinity is actually doesn't have a diamond, because the diamond in that trinity, in that place, the suspended diamond, is actually the release of the fraud. But nevertheless, we can see it from that perspective, that you have in a trinity here too, right? Yeah, wonderful. And then that trinity is based in the center of the solar plexus. So remember the three trinities: that trinity, foundation trinity, the trinity of the fraud, even though it has a fourth dimension. But it's good to really see it, so the mind can begin to really have a map of the entire body all the time. And the map, eventually the map, your mind knows, it knows the formation, but also it connects to the formation through the knowledge and the knowing of that. So the mind and the body becomes interconnected, because the sensation of the body is the sensation of the mind. Yeah. So then it's good to really go into that one too. Wonderful. Yeah, the sensation of the body is the sensation of the mind.
Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
the more, so it works that the more consciousness you have about everything, the more you connect to everything, the more you sense it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. The more
that
you
expansion.
Yeah, the sensation. It was interesting because when my knee went, it took like maybe like 10 days to begin to sense the joint, but I didn't know. The knee became like swollen and everything. And then I said, oh, one morning I get up, I sense the center of the joint. That's good. But I didn't have when I had whatever I had in the knee, I didn't know that I lost the connection to the center of the joint. So anyway, and then it appeared again, and I said, oh, how wonderful, I'm getting better, because my mind is situated in that place. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But couldn't your mind still be situated in that place and you still couldn't get the sensation because of the swelling?
That may be true. That may be true, but then it's a part of the brain that is not synchronized with the moment itself. That's the way subliminally everything works all the time. But when I'm not totally connected to it, it is a part of me also that is not functioning completely. And when it's part of me is not functioning, what I'm learning is that my self-conscious is always conscious of that. So it robs me of the actual spontaneity of my being. But it's not a big deal. I'm grateful that that's the case. But anyway, it's a good learning device. It's wonderful.
And that pain is really useful, because you realize it tells you that you're not connected.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And pay attention. I have to pay attention more than usually I pay attention.
Right.
But pay attention inside of that, what I'm learning as well, because I haven't been injured for a while, so I don't remember anymore. But having to pay attention, it means that there is a part of me that is not free to pay attention to everything else, because I'm a little bit self-enclosed within myself. But the self-enclosure within myself is what provides the healing. If I'm not present, then it will take a long time to heal, because I have to wait for the body to do it. And I'm not sure that my body could do it by itself, because what I learned in the knee is that I need to pay very, very much attention to the placement of the movement. So I am not compensating in order to do the motion, or I'm not compensating in order not to have pain.
Right.
Because if I do that, then everything becomes more complex, because it takes another form.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel compassion for people who really don't have that understanding, because sometimes when the body gets, for whatever reason, it gets injured, by the time you get better, the pattern may have changed, and then we don't know how to bring it forward. Yeah. So that's something that you don't have to be concerned about it, because in the practice, everything will come together, because you will realign it through the connections and the movements, and whatever is not ready to be realigned, it will come back to it by the relationship of the whole relationship of everything. Because that relationship of everything is what expresses the centering of any one part. Even though you pay attention to the centering of that either one part. Hi, darling, how are you?
Good, good, good.
Yeah. So even though we pay attention to the centering of one part, paying attention is good because that's the way you repair something or you are connected to something. But in the totality of the whole, the relationship of every single part comes from the whole. It doesn't come from the parts. But the part is a good thing. Like, for example, when you're working in natural bended knees, it's in seated or standing or in the floor. You don't have a standing in natural bended knees, even though natural bended knees will be the same as the descending spring when you touch in balance, right? So when you're working in that or in a chair or in the floor, you're always realigning the hips. But you could say I'm realigning the hips and the joints and my feet, but I'm giving direction to everything else. And giving direction to everything else, assist all the organs and all the whole system of the body to reconnect in some synchronicity so that everything becomes more clear until eventually you don't feel it anymore because you are connected. That's an interesting thing, that when you're truly connected, you don't feel the body anymore. You know, I mean, you are the body, but you don't feel it. You know what I mean? Like the way that we think about feeling it. So it's good to know that well, because then if someday you're feeling the body too much, you need to reconnect it. So the whole take away from that actualization of the mind that may innocently rob you from the whole spectrum of the release of the mind. Yeah. So that's I'm learning about a lot about this.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, but I'm getting better. So anyway, so let's go through the motions and let's. I don't know how much I can do seated. I can do a standing because I don't know if you can see me from there. But let's go through the fountain seated, the first movement of the fountain. And what I would like you to do, if it's possible, when we go through the movements now together, to tell you the places and the movements that you are becoming more and more acquainted with the subtlety that exists in that instant, with what the mind is doing in that instant. So you are beginning more and more synchronizing the mind with the subtlety of the geometry. Synchronizing the mind with the geometry. And then when that happened, the mind then it begins to expand inside of yourself, and that's the connection of mind and body that allows the movement to disappear, because eventually you don't do anything. All that you're doing is finding the geometry and the connections. Yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to move myself back and see how everything looks from here. Beautiful. I don't need that because you don't see it. You don't see me very much from there. It's part of me. It's like gets lost, but it's okay.
You're pretty good, Christy. We don't see you beyond your feet, beyond your knees.
Yeah, you want me to move the chair back?
You can move it back a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I miss the other place because I have a big screen.
I know.
I will be still not getting.
No, that's fine. You know, that's
Fine?
okay. That's
Wonderful. Perfect. So let's start with the fountain very gently. Yes, beautiful. Wonderful. Just for a few seconds in 0 point before we start. So you know that the palm of your feet and the floor are bringing your direction, which is your energy, up into the knees, into the hips, into the chair. So then from the chair and the hips, you get to have the shoulders aligned very gently, the distance in your hands and the hips and your legs, the throat and the head, and the 0 point balance. That's wonderful. Hanging out for a few seconds there, so we can just be connected. For the 5 fingers, the 10 fingers of your heart, of your hands, is the center of your heart. The 10 toes is the center of the hip. And the 10 dimensions and the entire geometry is the center of your mind. Yeah, fantastic. 10, 10, 10. Wonderful. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Let's go back to 0 point for a second, and then we'll do it again. Check from an instant. Because when you practice, you will notice that once you do a few fountains, like a couple, like we did, you will notice that you may have to adjust the center of your feet one more time, because now the direction of the floor, since you open the spine, is going to give you a different direction going up through the floor into the ground. Yeah, so you'll get to have that feeling as well. Beautiful. How was that motion coming along? Beautiful, right?
Beautiful.
Perfect. You know that the most complex is the ground gas heart, because that's where the diamond comes into existence. And then the central ground is then taking you into moving heart. And you know that from moving heart, when you're taking the heart out again to go to central ground, you always have to remember that you're coming from the pelvic floor and your legs to take you up into central ground again. So you have to come up from within out. Don't just bring the arms forward. Just from the center of the pelvic floor, you bring yourself out in order to come back to go to self. And self is the place that you're descending and ascending at the same time. Beautiful. And then you know that the last frame of the fountain is the beginning of the fountain. So when you practice, you will notice when you arrive into the moment that you arrive right there, and that becomes the beginning. So remember that the practice to find the completion of the fountain and the beginning of the fountain at the same time. So can we do it one more time? Any questions about it? Anything that you want me to look at it? It's difficult to see you from here completely, but you're doing great. You're doing fantastic. Okay, wonderful. Lovely. Just going to spend a second again to take my eyes from seeing you, because if I see you, you know, I'm a little bit back. I'm not in the center of the movement completely. So then I know you look at, if you're looking at me too, it's the case, but you know, you balance between seeing and being inside. So the seeing doesn't take you outside of the center of your being. Vertical center, equilibrium. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2. We do the fountain again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the last. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come back to 0 point. Let's continue with the next thing. How was that? You're doing good?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Any questions? Anything? Okay. Remember that the most important thing that when you get to central ground the second time and you're open the movement to bring you forward into self, the first reflex is going to be that you want to bring your arms out and not every single point from central ground. Once you extend the energy through your arms, becomes the changing of the center of gravity. So when you're right to self, you are exactly in the vertical extension. So you have to be careful because there is a tendency from central ground that you extending your arms and you leaving the center back as you come into self. And exactly. So you do understand that the most important aspect is the last principle, the principle of gravitational expansion, right? So you're incorporating the changing of the center of gravity at the same time that you move in the movement when you get to self. So by the time you get to self, you are in the exact vertical extension. So the descending through your arms becomes the ascending into the ground. So you sense that you're going up at the same time that you're going down. We're going one last time, and then let's do one fountain, for example, for a moment. Let's do one set, and then we go to the definition of earth, which is the definition of foundation, the definition of central heart, the definition of suspended diamond, and then the definition and the completion of the fountain. How was that? That was good? Yeah. It's very important that your mind understand the principle of gravitational expansion. That is what it makes the difference between you doing the movement and the movement coming as a consequence of you finding the sphere as you're moving. Yeah, that makes the difference. Once you begin to synchronize with the moving center of gravity as you're moving, then the center of the sphere does the movement for you. If you are not completely synchronized, which is all right too, you are doing the motion, but it's good, but you are not getting done by the motion. So the goal ultimately is being done by the motion, because that's the totality of the whole field, then interconnecting you as yourself. Okay, so we do one last fountain, and then we go to the inflowing wave, and we're going to go, we're going to do unity in motion. Remember that in unity in motion, you're synchronizing the 4 counts of your arms with the 4 counts of ascending through the 7 centers to ground. And then you are in the vertical extension as you come back to suspended wave, and you're descending, ascending as a foundation, from which then you go up all the way to ground again. Yeah, beautiful. So you're refining the notion that the movements of your arm are connected to the spine, and not just the motions of your arm, are coming from the pelvic floor all the way up to the crown. And then when you're in the crown, and you come back from the crown to come back to foundation, you create a circle, but you're already in the vertical extension, right? Because you're in crown. You're already in the vertical extension. So by the time you get to the suspended wave, which is the center of the solar plexus, then you're descending, ascending to crown. You're descending to foundation as you ascend from crown, again, connecting through the motions. So we do the fountain, and we do the four definitions. Beautiful. Much better. You are connecting much more connected, Beverly, now with your arms. Much better. Wonderful. So we're going to go to one fountain at either side. Then we do the unity in motion, central heart, suspended diamond, central crown, completing the fountain. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1. Excuse me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, from the floor, pelvic floor, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gather in the wave, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's 3 times. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Going to the central heart. 2, 3, and 4. Going 1, 2, 3. Uniting the heart. The center of a space corresponds to the center of your arches, the center of your knees, the center of the pelvis, the center of the throat, the center of the head, the center. 1, 2, 3, 4. Outflowing wave. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm going to suspend the time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Descending, ascending. 2, 3. I'm going outflowing wave ground. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to central ground now. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Coming back to 0, going for the next one, just for a second. How is that? Beautiful. Yeah. Are you good? I think that the most complex thing, I don't know, it's difficult because the camera, depending the angle of the camera that is looking at you, that you're seated, it's difficult to see you from the center of a space, because if the camera is looking from this direction, I won't be able to see you completely from, I am, but it's difficult to see you from the center of you instead of just seeing you from the front. You know what I mean a little bit? Yeah. According to where the camera is placed, it will determine if you see you from above, from the center, from below, and so forth. So it changes a little bit, but nevertheless, I think that you're doing absolutely wonderful. I think that the most important thing, I cannot tell you how important it is to practice the outflowing wave ascending to the 7 centers. Yeah, from pelvic floor, pelvis, solar plexus, chest, throat, and crown. Got it. Flowing wave. Yeah, carrying the inflowing wave, coming back to center of the suspended balance, suspended wave, descending, ascending to foundation, which will take me back to ground. Yeah, beautiful, wonderful. Just come up for a second. We'll do it together. Let's do the same thing. It's okay. And then we'll rest for a few seconds. Let me see. The goal in your understanding is that when you go to the outflowing wave and you go to ground and then you come back to it, you're always again inside of the gravitational expansion, the principle of gravitational expansion. Remember that change in principle is what allows you to use the sphere for you to sense the center of your body from which you go out or up, wherever you're going, and disconnect you from the idea that you are doing the movements, that you're actually doing the movement yourself. Yeah, beautiful. Yes, that's much better. Yeah. Do you understand what the difference is between doing the movements and being centralized about the sphere? I think you get in moments that you are totally connected to it, but I'm not sure that your mind completely understands there is this principle that is giving you the possibility of being done by the actual explosion of the continual sphere of gravity, the sphere of the speed of light, what we call the speed of light. So then it's an implosion, explosion at the center moment with the moment itself. Implosion is gravity to the center of the earth. Explosion is the expansion of the whole sphere. The center of the moment becomes the sphere of 3 dimensions. So you're always connecting to this sphere. So we'll do it again. We're going to go to the four unity in motion, one central heart, one suspended diamond, one central crown will complete the fountain. Lovely, perfect. It's good for you to think about also that. I want you to, just for a second. I don't want to stop it, but I want you to think about that. This line here, the center of your neck and throat, is the point. It's also a line that allows you to go all the way up and all the way down. It's called the coronal plane within your body. A line here. So when you go to and connecting to crown, you are half divided between front and back and half divided between right and left. And that's the line of the natural extension of your neck right here. Half is front and half is back. So I want you to become aware of that without making it too much effort that if you're lifting yourself much, because then you're really creating force. But connect to that idea that you are dividing the right half of your neck as you're ascending, and all the connection, you are also connecting not only right and left in your throat and your neck, but also connecting front and back through the neck. And if you're connecting through front and back through the neck and right and left, you are connecting to the abdominal area into the sacrum via the neck, because remember that the neck is actually the natural extension and release of the lower back and your abdominal area, because the neck is the totality, the upper area of the spine. Yeah, so beautiful. It's important also that when you are in crown, that you don't go too much into here, because then you close back up there. So you're discovering what is this line here at the center from which you can lift inside of it, but without pushing back into the skull, without pushing back into the atlas in order to feel that you're lifting yourself. No, it's the center of your being that you're constantly, exactly, Martha, that you're constantly refining. Yes, because the center of your being is the release of the spine. You can release the spine through the spine by pushing it, but once you find the center of space inside of you, then the vertebrae naturally align inside of the spiral. Okay, we're doing it, and we'll do it. Any questions about that? Helpful, a little bit, this connection of the throat,
Sure.
neck. Beautiful. Okay, 0 point balance, right there. Perfect, fantastic. 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry. We don't do. We are doing the fountain again. No, we're going.
We're doing the fountain once, and then we go 3 unity in motion.
Oh, okay. Thank you. It's good to connect the other movement with this motion. Yes, so we don't break it. So 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gathering the way. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, and now we're going to center class. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1. Four counts here. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 1, 2, 3. Now ascending. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to touch balance from here, if you don't mind, okay? Inflowing wave, 2. I'm going to go to foundation. You're going to come from the floor. Going to go up very gently, and the invisible spiral will take you. Actually, no, suspended balance. I'm sorry. Suspended balance. Yes, suspended balance is a good thing because it will release any pressure that you have created in the second. Ready to come back in the sphere. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then offer itself. 2, 3, and 4. Wonderful. Come back to 0. Yeah. How about moving a little bit back, and then for a moment, just in the chair, and just rest for a few seconds, and then we'll do it again. Touching balance. Not touching balance, suspended balance, right? The release of foundation. Are you good? Are you okay? Let me see. What is it that I wanted to tell you? Very important. I needed to tell you that I need you to know the difference that
Be quiet.
when you're resting for a little bit, I need you to know the difference that when you go to the second movement, I beg your pardon, okay? I don't know if you can see. When you go to the second movement to get to the central heart, there is a moment that you're opening, and then you're encounter central heart, yeah? And I want you to see what the difference will be, central heart at the center of your being instead of at the forward direction of your being, at the center of your being, central heart. So make sure that you are at the center of the rib cage, so you're not forwards. If you are at the center of the rib cage, then descending, ascending is a piece of cake, yeah? Just in order to take you to it. So remember that in that place, very, very important, yeah? That central heart is the place that it doesn't go to here. I went forward, you will be able to see it in the, and now look, I have to go like almost like a quarter of an inch back in order to be at the center of my rib cage. See, right there is the center of my rib cage that allows the neck and my head to be connected through it. So make sure that you are in that place, yes? Then the same when you are in self, the self, again, is not an offering. It's really actually the centralization of your being. So the self, and it passes through the hands. And that's beautiful, beautiful. You have to make sure that the self, it doesn't go under your arms, that it goes at the center of the right and the left and the joint. So when you elongate the energy, you can get up into 0 point. Yeah, beautiful. You're doing good. You're doing good. So the amount of distance is very important, right? Very important here. You see, look, I'm going to leave the distance here, and I'm going to go the distance right here. You see what the difference happened with my left arm when you see it? You see, so the distance of your elbow is what is going to give you not only the right and the left in your neck, but the half of your neck. This other half of your neck behind you is going to be given by the direction in which self exists within you, right there. So again, you are not lifting through here, you are inside. Self is, this is when you're descending from it, yeah? To go to 0 point. How was that? That's good, clear. When you go to central, when you go to suspended diamond, it is in the moment that you touch the delicate heart, the wave will take you to suspended diamond. So you have to touch delicate heart to go to the wave to get to the suspended diamond. And when you get to the suspended diamond, again, I'll do it for you. You are not, let me see, you are at the center of your neck and shoulder. You are not forward in it. You are at the center. You are not back. You are at the center of your chest, arms and fingers, from which then descending, ascending creates clear. So it's it's very important that you might understand the centralization that occurs in suspended diamond. Yeah, and your fingers right here, that will become beautiful, right there. So it's important that once you touch suspended diamond and you're descending, the back right here, the back of where the cervical vertebra connect to the thoracic vertebra changes a little bit. So look, it's not that from here you're going to descend. It's that vertebra is going to provide the descension as well. This vertebra is going to go move a little bit to give you the direction from which you're going to descend into descending, ascending from the suspended diamond. Right there. Okay, now descend, Martha, from there. Right there. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. Fantastic. That's a very, very important, because otherwise you're descending with your arms and you're not descending, ascending there. You are just bringing the energy toward you. But if you're at the center, you're descending, ascending at the center of yourself. So you're going down and up at the same time to really actually all the time refine the center of space. Beautiful. I also remember that every movement is different. When you go to central heart, you're opening the foundation to connect you to the center heart right here. You're opening the foundation. Let me see from where you are, Mary Pat, from foundation to go to central heart. Yeah, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. What you would like to do, if it's possible, when you open the energy and you bring it through it, it's not that you're going to open it up and then you're going to come together. No, it's that the open it up is the coming together. Yes, so you have to refine the opening to the coming together to connect the 5 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a lot, but it's good because it's not that you open it and you close, right? That the connection, clear. Now, when you go to suspended diamond, it's different because in here, you just go right and left, unite, and you front and back, and you're in the center. And here, you have to create the wave that rotate the shoulder to connect the rib cage in order to get you to suspended diamond. Right there. Yeah, fantastic. And you have to be very careful, because in here, your mind understands you're defining the true horizontal plane, the true horizontal plane. You are not below the horizontal plane. You are not above the horizontal plane. It's the perfect horizontal plane that allows you to descend and ascend. So it's very important that you understand what that plane is, the horizontal plane. Yeah, it's only one line from which you go up or one line from which you go below. But the refinement of that line is the center of the tree of life, the center of the tree of life, the second horizontal plane, the first horizontal plane, second and third. So you're refining exactly that direction, beautiful. Now, the only thing that you need to do now is beautiful. You got the connection right now. Let me see if I can get it a little bit so you can, I'm not distorting the line. The connection is right here, right? Now, what I needed to make sure that the connection into here, you see the connections where my fingers are? My fingers are not here, are here, are not here. Where is the connection that crisscross itself to come back to you? So make sure, Martha, that your fingers are opening through you, and the direction of your hand, it has a slightly navigation. It doesn't follow the way inside of it. So So you are not in here, you are at the center of it. So you have to open the wrist and your hand a little bit more open, right there. And now the other one too, right there, until you feel like you are not pressing with your hands and your wrist, that you're passing through the energy, and that's where it will get you up. Yeah, very important. So navigation is always existing. It's a principle. That's perfect, Ellen. Descending, ascending, beautiful, wonderful.
And also it's like that. It's that connection, so that you're open in your shoulder. Your shoulders have rotated, and you're releasing through the third finger too.
Yes, as you get to suspended diamond, right? It's continuity. It's a continuity. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. You have to be careful that now that it is it's difficult to talk about it, because the first thing that the mind has said, okay, I got to rotate my shoulders. But if your mind rotates too much the shoulders, then you lost the connection to your heart, because you have to press down. So the practice is that you rotate in the shoulder to almost very delicate. So you are not grabbing the shoulders to rotate it. You are releasing the shoulder joint to connect you through your arm as you go in there. That was it, Mary Pat. Yes, very clear. Exactly. Much better, much better, much better. Now, remember that when you descend in from the suspended diamond, again, I need you to become aware of this vertebra right here that connects the first vertebra that connects the neck to the thoracic vertebra. So when you're descending, that vertebra changes a little bit, because you are start entering the inner arc when you start descending. So it's not that you're going to leave the neck there and you're going to descend with your arm. See, it's going to change a little bit the center back of your neck. Yeah, it's very important, this little changes, because if this area doesn't engage, then you are not at the center of the shoulders when you go into foundation. So the movement of that vertebra in the spine is very important, because we tend to use it to go vertical instead of extending through the neck. Really, the center of your neck is actually through the center of the solar plexus. Beautiful, you got it. Yeah, and then you remember that when you go to central heart, it's a completely different movement, because you don't do the wave that is taking you to suspended balance. You are in another way that is continual, getting you all the way to central crown before you getting back into moving heart. Exactly. So the four movement taking you to central heart, central crown, is different than the one that is taking you to suspended diamond. It's different than the one that is taking you to moving to central heart, and so on. Each motion has a different path of movement relating to the motion itself. So it's not that you continue with the same path as you're going through, right? So to find the subtleties sounds like a lot, but it's not, because once you find the subtlety, you are engaging through your arms instead of moving the shoulders up or down. You are engaging inside of yourself. Yeah. So I would like to do that one last time, and then we do touching balance. Yeah. And then we'll continue with the definition of earth. And then actually we can do the releases then, perhaps earth and the release of touching balance, expansion, and then the second time the release of expansion, going to heaven, and the second time of heaven going the release of heaven, and then we go from there. Okay, it's wonderful. All right, we're going through it. So what we're going to do one fountain. And then either side, we're going to do the 3 times of the outflowing wave. We're going to go into touching balance, into central heart, and be aware very, very gently of the relationship. This is a great place. It's a great place. Wonderful. That's fantastic. Love it. In this place, when you are in the center of your heart, it's going to give you the center of your feet and the floor. And it's going to give you the back of your neck, and it's going to give you your head, and it's going to give you the crown. Beautiful. And that will become the descending, ascending. Okay. So we're going to start. We're going to do it. 5, 6, 7. We start the fountain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Now I'm going to central heart. 2, 3, 4. Ascending to centers, connecting to the heart, connecting to the center of the space. You have 4 counts here. Okay. The center of your arches, the knees, your hip joints, elbow, shoulders, a lot of things here. Descending. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to the wave of suspended dive. Lick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Let's do this one more time. Okay. Going to suspend the diamond. Speed of earth. Suspended wave. 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 2, 3. And now going to central crown. It's a different path because you're going through it and the movement continue all the way out. Yeah. And then getting you 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. I'm going to do this. The release of foundation. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm going to spin a circle here. One hand double the other one. Center for a moment. Your toes. 7 and 8. And bringing the wave, the foundation, offer itself. 2, 3. Ground, back very gently, releasing for a moment, bringing the pelvis back, the knee up here, the knee up here. You can bring yourself, you want to place yourself in the back of the chair. Sorry about the chair. Connecting your legs, connecting the pelvis, connecting your arms, connecting your fingers, connecting your chest, connecting your throat, connecting your jaws, connecting your face, connecting the third eye, connecting the crown. And just relax for a moment. Have supporting. Just let yourself be for it. How was that? Any question? Well, I think that what I wanted to say today, that you know that each of the path that is taking you to foundation to go to the outflowing wave, the path that is taking you to central heart to come back to foundation, the outflowing wave, the path that is taking you to suspended diamond, and the path that is taking you to central crown. There are 4 different paths that they are completely different. Yeah, they are not the same relationship of the skeleton as you go up. It changes. That's important. Yeah. Let me see what else can I get. Remember that in the moment that you touch suspended diamond, you start the inner arc a little bit. That's the reason that you are engaging the neck when you're coming forward. So from suspended diamond, you don't stay vertical when you're descending through it. You're changing it very slightly to come back to the inner arc. Beautiful. And very good, very good. You are engaged in that. It is important also that when you get to, let's say that you complete the fountain, right? You're completing the fountain from here, 5, 6, 7, that's 0 point. Now, look, gathering the wave, gathering the wave. It doesn't go from here, outflowing wave. No, gathering the wave to get you to foundation before you start getting into the outflowing wave. So remember that the first movement from 0 point balance is a gathering the wave. It's not an inflowing wave. The inflowing wave comes around, the gathering the wave gathers the whole thing to bring it to foundation. Yeah, it's a different path. Beautiful. Let me see from 0 point, Ellen, from where you gather the wave. From arriving to, from cell to the last count, and then gathering the wave. Yeah, beautiful. You have to be careful now, because what happens is that you want to go to central heart, to you want to go to suspended wave. There's no such a thing. You are already there. You are already in this angle, so you don't need to get to suspended wave.
Okay.
You're completely there. Exactly. Yeah. Beautiful. Let me see, Mary Pat, from 0 point balance, how do you get to gathering the wave? It's good. But now what happens is that when you're thinking about gathering the wave, you're thinking about forward, which is true. But remember that the right and the left are part of that gathering the wave. It's not just that you bring your hands forward, it's that the right and the left of your hip are connected exactly to getting you into the foundation to go there. Very important. Yeah, beautiful. Right there. Yeah, so you get to have the width of your hip and the gathering the wave, even when you're standing. So otherwise you just push forward with your arms. Yeah, it's good. It's good. From 0 point balance, let me see, where are you in it? One. Now you went to the other side. Now you went too much forward and back. Both sides at the same time. Both sides at the same time. Exactly. The front and the back and the right and the left gathering the wave. Yeah, beautiful. Fantastic. You're doing great. That's it. That's it. That's good. That's good. That's good. Fantastic. You don't need, when you gather the wave to go to foundation, you don't go to suspended wave. You don't go to suspended wave, which is right here, right? You just go from here to here. You're already in the circle of foundation. You're almost already in the circle of foundation. See right there? So you don't go to suspended wave, which is right here. Suspended wave is the center of the solar plexus. This one is, that's the center, and it's a little bit on top of the pelvis, but it's not all the way up into the it's a different movement. Yeah, fantastic. You're doing absolutely great. Let me see, what else? Okay, are we good? Any questions about that? Let me see, like one last detail that I need to tell you. I needed to tell you something that when you are in self, okay, when you're descending the wave from the self, from here, the descending of the wave is not directed forward as a release, is forward, is right and left and front and back as you're descending through the arm. So the wave is the right and the left and the front and the back, 0 point, gathering the wave. So from self, when you're descending from self, right? You're descending, ascending, both sides of your arms into 0 point, right here. That will be the moment of 0 point from which you gather the wave. Yes, so then show me from self. Where are you from self? And then descending, ascending from self. Yeah. Yeah. And what is the moment that you gather the wave? Yeah. You have to remember that the gathering the wave is not an outflowing wave. Yeah, it's exactly. So you're uniting. Let me see, Carolina, when you are from the center of self, and you are in self, right? And you are in self. Now you're going to descend and ascend, and then you're going to go to 0 point. And then you're descending, continue. That will be the point. Exactly. You have to be, it's perfection. You're doing great. You'll continue, 0 point. Now, when you get to 0 point, gathering the wave, the last frame, instead of taking you to the inflowing wave, is taking you to the gathering foundation, gathering the way to foundation. Yeah, it's different. So it's a good detail to really learn to do that. Yeah. Let me see so what you're learning. Yeah.
Why does it take you into foundation after
after gathering the wave?
This is after the fountain, right?
After the fountain, yeah, because remember that every time that we are in the fountain, then we go to an outflowing wave, we go to earth, and then the earth will take us up into suspended balance, suspended wave in order to descend.
But when we repeat it the first time, we don't do that, right?
Only the first time,
No.
never after. It's only the first time that we do that because we are in 0 point instead of we are in ground. And when we are seated in the chair, we are in 0 point here. See right there, you're in 0 point in the chair, let's say. From here is already inside of the inflowing wave. See, inside of the inflowing wave. When you're right to 0 point balance, right here, if you're trying to get around, to go around this way, you're going to close the back of your neck. So you have to.
Don't we just open the fountain again? We just open the fountain from.
Let me make clear that I understand what you asked me. I'm sorry, darling. So then.
When we do the first fountain, and then
Yes.
do the second fountain, we do with the left hand starting. We
Yes.
don't first go into foundation there. We just.
No. That's
You're
just
going to 0 point, darling. You're starting 0 point.
when you get done with the second one, and then we're going,
Second one,
we're going
we're going into
foundation out into
the
the
second one. Okay.
It's only the first place that you are because
Well, the first place, Christy,
Yeah.
in the first place, we just repeat it. So we don't go into foundation first.
No.
We just end in 0 point and then we repeat it with the other hand.
Okay, I'm sorry, because when we are in the chair, we are in 0 point in the chair, right? But when you are standing from the connection of 0 point balance, you are in the connection of 0 point balance. 0 point balance is a trap here. And then let me just tell you just for a second for understanding what I mean. 0 point is the place in which you have the right and the left and the front and the back at the same time. You are not only having resting the arms in here. The connection of the energy in 0 point, if I look at it for a little bit, it will be like here. You see, it will not be 0 point right there. It will not be 0 point right here. It will not be 0 point right here. It's the point that is connecting already from which you start the fountain. It's the point that you're already connecting from the center of the hip, the center of the arms, and the center of the head. So 0 point is the center of the matrix inside of you. Exactly. So that would be the moment of the beginning of the wave, the fountain, Carolina. So from there is when you start the fountain.
Right.
Exactly.
And then when you repeat it, you start it from there also.
In the other side, yeah. But the same from 0 point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm trying to say is that I need you to understand the hand. Look, this is 0 point, right? In my arm, 0 point in my arm. This is not 0 point in my arms. So I'm going to connect this one as it is 0 point, and this one different. See, this one is 0 point, the left hand, and this one is not. Yeah, so in trying to get out of here from the fountain, it's going to be very difficult to get out of here because I have no means to come back from the floor up. I'm just lifting my arm. But if I am in 0 point here, that is already the floor. That is already my pelvis. That is already my spine. That is already everything. So 0 point, it is the entire matrix when you start moving in it. Exactly. So if you are in 0 point in your arms, you're already inside of the fountain before you begin the fountain. Yeah. Did you understand? Yeah, that was perfect, Carolina. Yeah. So let your arms go a little bit down in 0 point. Let it go down just for a moment. Let it go. Like that. You see, you can't start the fountain from there. Because you have to, exactly. So 0 point is the beginning of the connection to the fountain, but it's not one frame removed from the fountain. Exactly, exactly. You got it. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. So that clarifies the connection. Yeah, it's different when you are seated, when you're seated in 0 point, because when you're seated in 0 point in the chair, you're here, right? So this connection is the beginning of the fountain. Right here is the beginning of the fountain. 0 point, that's the beginning of the fountain. So the entire connection is the beginning of the movement. It's not that I'm going to bring my arm up and my arm up, and then I will start the fountain. Yeah, exactly. The frame is always connecting you with everything, and you're learning to connect it. Beautiful. Yeah, that was clear. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Right there. Beautiful. Lovely. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Fantastic, fantastic. It's wonderful. Just for a second. Beverly, I think it's fantastic, Beverly, but it's important to understand now that when you are in Central Crown, gotta go a little bit back. Central Crown, you are in navigation. You are not in here. Navigation. Once you are in navigation in Central Crown, that will become the beginning of the spiral. So Central Crown has a navigation, exactly, Carolina, from which the spiral come in. Beautiful. So right there, right there, right there. Beautiful. And what it will be the moment in Central Crown, right, that you start the spiral, right? What it will be the moment that the right and the left gets connected to come down from the second half going into moving heart. What it will be right there, that will be the moment of the right and the left that it connect to central heart. Right there. Okay. When you start the spiral, let me
Just doing it. I had a big refinement because I was always crossing my hands over like that.
Yes.
And you're separating them. You know what I mean?
You're right in the balance of right and left.
You're separate and
to
not.
come back to moving heart. Exactly. You're right in the balance of right and left and the spiral. The spiral. Okay, I love it. So can you be for me for a moment and just be comfortable for a second? I need to tell you something that is very difficult to explain, but I can do it. If you understand it, it's going to help you. Look, you are in Central Crown, right? In Central Crown. As I coming back into the spiral, the center of right and left, before I start moving around the second half of the movement, it happened at this level. It doesn't happen at the center of the shoulder joint. It happens at right there, the center of right and left. It keeps the whole circle of my arms going around. So it's a full rotation from Central Crown. It's a full rotation of the whole joint, taking you around into the heart. And sometimes I have the feeling that when you open the movement, you bring in the spiral, but you don't know in what moment the first half of the spiral becomes the second half of the spiral that's taking you to the heart. So that's the first part, and now the second part right there. Exactly. Wonderful. The first part, the second part. I have the feeling that the mind thinks that in order to get to the first part of the spiral, you got to get to the horizontal plane, like we experience here, but it's not. The horizontal plane is right here in that moment to go around me to take me into the heart. So it's a little bit tilted because you're coming from the other arc. Okay, let's right there. Okay, it's good. I think you got it, Carolina, right? A little bit what it is that I'm telling you, connecting through it. The second part. Yeah, go ahead.
Should I do it?
I think so. You're doing good. You're doing good. You have the first part very good right now. You have this part, and right now is tell me now when you see it. I know it's difficult to ask you to see it in the screen because the difference of the camera. But tell me in the moment that I am in the right and the left from the central crown. Right here. You see, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. I am not here.
Right.
I am here.
Yeah.
So from here, right there. And then I can go around the other half of myself to come to moving heart, from which I can get out then. Exactly. So then, what that ensures, the first part is right there, right there. Wonderful, wonderful. Very good, very good, very good. Carolina, the first part is wonderful. The first part right here is wonderful. This part is when the second part from here is a little bit complex because it wants to come into itself instead of continue around the totality of your torso, around your heart. When you're descending from that place, go around your heart with it, around, right there. So by the time you get to the heart, you are not on top of your heart. You are at the center of your heart. This will be on top of my heart. Look, this will be on top of my heart. This will be the center of my heart. You see, the center already take me up. So the center of your heart, not on top of your heart. I don't know. Let me just, this will be the center. This will be on top. This will be the center. This will be on top. The center of my heart is already taking me out into it. Exactly. And it's at the second part of the spiral of the encircling diamond. But absolutely. Yes, 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 Carolina. That was fantastic. Can you feel it in the muscles of your arms? The different engagement? Beautiful. Right there, around you, around you, around you, around you. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
It
It's
still
only
doesn't seem completely smooth.
the whole circle is getting created. It's just that the first part is absolutely wonderful. The second part, when you get to go around you right here, there is a moment that you want to bring it around down into you instead of continue with the whole circle, that it will take you to the heart and it will take you out of you.
Right.
So you have to complete the circle of the heart. Exactly, the circle of the heart. Yeah, completing the circle of the heart. Exactly, and then exactly, and exactly right there, from which they take you out again. Yes,
Okay.
beautiful.
Thank
Now,
you.
Beverly, you're good. From navigation, okay? And now complete the circle. And now the circle. Okay. Beverly, you're doing good, but this is what you're doing now. You bring in the spiral, and then you think that you're gonna come into here. No, once you bring the spiral, you gotta go around the entire torso to take you back into moving heart. So from the first half, right there, go around the entire torso, around the entire horse, exactly. And when you get to moving heart, one hand is close to it's not that you are here, one hand is almost on top of the other, a little bit,
Okay.
right there. That will become the beginning of the motion. Will take you into it. Yeah, perfect. How is Marta? Is good that spiral? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Start going out.
Yeah. Exactly. You're doing good. It's a tendency a little bit when you bring the spiral, that you bring the spiral on top of your heart instead of bringing the spiral through the center of your heart around your heart.
Right. So I should be going
no
inward.
top of your heart. Exactly. So then it will take you, you're already in the pelvic floor then. Yeah. Beautiful. You're already beautiful. Right there. Right. And that it will become a different beginning, right? A different beginning to start the fountain again. Yeah. To go to central crown then again. From the end of that. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Exactly. It will change because what happens that once you are in the center of your heart, then you can come up from the pelvis. If you are a little bit on top of your heart, lifting from the pelvis is not going to work because you're going to create pressure on the thoracic vertebra to go up. You're going to go up, but you're going to go down. So from the center of your heart, you can come from the floor up again into central crown.
It's much lower then.
I'm sorry?
Much lower. It's much
little,
lower. The heart is lower than, because I usually come here rather than a little bit lower.
Little bit lower for you. The heart for me, the place in the heart right for me is right in this point. That's the center right here. And that's what I am. My hands is a little bit lower, but it's not, if I were to be in the center of the heart, I would gotta be here. It feels too high there. So for me, it's right here at the center with the sternum divides itself in half up and half down to get to the solar plexus. It's at the center of the sternum. It's the place in which you are allowing that area to go. Beautiful. Right there, right there, right there, right there. And that's where you're coming out again from it. Beautiful. You got it. You got it. You got it. Wonderful. Just one little detail that I want you to really, the center of the sternum is a complex place because the sternum is not a place that goes into itself. It's a place that is the center of your shoulders. It doesn't go up to lift you, that then creates pressure in the thoracic vertebra. It's the place that it's a very, very, it's a very delicate place. It's like a part of the delicate heart in which the breastbone, it doesn't collapse into itself, but it doesn't push back. Because if it push back, it will make you stronger, it seems to be, but then the thoracic vertebra will have to take the entire force and it will disconnect you from the pelvic floor a little bit by doing that, because it becomes solid instead of the center. So the breastbone right here is a very delicate place that you find in the balance between caving, center, creating force. Center, caving, center, creating force. So it's a little tiny bit of caving because you're completing the circle, but it's not caving down and it's not pushing up on top of it. It's the place in which you're coming out from the motion. Yeah, beautiful. Is clear? That clear? Beautiful, beautiful. Darling, it's absolutely beautiful. Beverly, it's absolutely beautiful. The only complexity is that the spiral, instead of going around itself all the way around, it wants to, after the half, it just wants to come forward into itself. And you got to complete the spiral in order to engage the muscles of your arms to come through the center of your spine. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, beautiful. Perfection, perfection, perfection. Beautiful. Okay, lovely. So let's go. Beautiful. I know. It's a lot of because what you're discovering is the area of this muscle connecting to all this area. So this muscle of your arm come from the back of the spine and the front of the spine. It all connected through you. There's a lot of power in it, inside of it. Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. You're good. You're good. You're good. Okay. So
can I just share something about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. Absolutely.
A few weeks ago in one of the classes we were working on that, and I'd been having trouble with my shoulder, and have found that when I really got the complete rotation in my left shoulder, and more in my right too, I felt the real engagement of all my arm muscles in a much more complete way, and how they connect to the whole fabric, of the whole matrix. And also it automatically, then as soon as I got to, moving heart and would begin going up into the fountain, I could really feel my pelvic floor and all my abdominals and everything engage much more than they usually have been. So it really is a completely different feeling. And now whenever I have, feel like my shoulder's getting squinched up, if I do that a couple of times, it really
It reconnects you because
Mary Pat,
Everything, it really gets my whole shoulder.
Mary Pat, could you show us how you did it and now what you learned?
Well, I'll try.
how you did it before and what you're doing now, right?
It used to be, the way I used to feel it, without getting quite as much rotation. Was more like here.
Yeah, your left shoulder didn't move.
That was the old way, right?
That's the old way, yeah.
Yeah. So now, yeah,
Um,
can do the old way again one more time. Go the other way because the old way. Because I want you to notice when she did the first part of the spiral, the second one doesn't go around when she did the old way. She just only go toward her in the same angle, but not going around herself. Exactly.
Couldn't get my shoulder to rotate all
To
the way.
rotate around the socket, incorporating the scapula and the torso and the bones, right?
I really felt like the arm bone really did something very different in my socket.
It rotated from the center of your heart
These
instead of just
muscles,
rotating the socket.
you know,
It rotated from the center of your heart.
yeah,
And now the new one, right?
yeah, I'll try that.
Wonderful. Better. Absolutely. Yeah, you're getting it's wonderful. You're getting to the complete the circle of your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, Carolina. Yeah. Central heart. You take it. Fantastic. That motion is a fantastic movement because it goes through the entire gravitational expansion that it take you almost through to an inner arc, but it's not an inner arc because it's a little bit of inner arc because the inner arc will be the circle of your spine around, but it's helping you. Okay. Wonderful. Fantastic. Okay.
But I read that the thing about the sphere of foundation and the sphere of central crown, and allowing that sphere to lead me around into myself.
Exactly.
And back, connecting back to that sphere, and that sphere opening and allowing me to open around to self.
Yes.
And then open around the sphere to.
Yes. And the opening to self is a trip. Yeah, because once you're opening from here, you got to be able to really connect the entire circle of the arm that is going to take you to self. So there is a perfect connection to that direction to the self, which is synchronizing everything to descend in order to descend and ascend into the wave. Okay, so if you don't mind, let's sit down for a second, and I would like to tell you what you're learning today. So just be aware, find a good chair, a good place in the chair, and let's go through the things that you learn because it's time. I have 5 minutes more I promised that I would never go away more than an hour and a half. Okay, so what you're learning today, I think that the most important thing is if it's starting the fountain, right? The most important thing that you're learning, the 0-point balance in your arms and the angle that you're sensing the energy of your arms already exists, the right and the left, the front and the back, and the above and below. So yeah, so that's a trip, right? Because it once that become clear, let me see, just go a little bit back. Once that the 0 point isn't here, but it's not here, but it's not here, but it's not here, right? Is the point that the right and the left and the front and the back and the above and below are one. That's what, remember that the entire practice is to refine this. And then if you're here, you see that's the fountain. That is the fountain. Here. But if you're here, you can't do the fountain. By the time you're trying to lift the fountain, you went all the way down. So what you're learning is that the connection of 0 point is the beginning of the fountain. Yeah, the connection of 0 point seated is the beginning of the fountain. Yeah, when you are in it, beautiful. That so then every time that you complete the fountain, you can only go to the point that the next frame is the beginning of the fountain. So when you're ascending, and you said, okay, 6, 7, and 8, 1. So it's not that you're arriving, okay, now I begin the fountain. Yeah. The connection is already the fountain. That's what you're learning. Yeah. Wonderful. So in reality, 0 point is the connection to the fountain every single moment. Yeah. Even no matter what you're doing, which is the same as the fountain of life. Yeah. Wonderful. Then you're learning that once you begin to do the fountain, you may have to change your feet a little bit, because once the areas of the spine begins to become clear for you, then the relationship of your feet to the floor changes. So be free to change the legs, because the floor eventually, that you have free, it's a trinity. Your legs and the pelvis are a trinity, right? The right and the left and the center of your pelvis. The right and the left and the center of your heart, the right and the left and the center of the crown. So those are the free crosses. So once you begin to find the feet, what you're really finding is the right and the left and the center of your pelvis, which correspond to the center of your seated bones then, because each of the seated bones is is the directions of your legs, right? The hip joint connecting the seated bone to your legs. So become aware of that relationship. It's important, especially when you're working around or when you're eating, without making a big deal, because I don't want you to think about being conscious that you have to be robotic. But being conscious is that you're totally relaxed in it, but if you need to change, you change it and then you move from there. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, because it's very complex, because in the study, you are only with yourself, but when you're other people, you can't be only with yourself or other people. So everything relaxes itself inside of a formation, but you're still having yourself without having all of a sudden to enter this reality in which yourself disappear and you're completely out, when you're completely out and you don't have ends. So you're finding the balance and the fluidity, and you get it. You get all those things. Okay, wonderful. It's good. Now, the next thing that you're learning is that the connections, that the 4 different planes, and when you're moving from the sphere of foundation to the outflowing wave, yeah, to the outflowing wave. So when you're unfolding the arm to the outflowing wave, you have the 4 directions of the space in your arms. You have in the right and the left and the front and the back, as it corresponds to the above and below. So it's not like you just go opening the wave of your arms. The outflowing wave is the right and the left, the front and the back, and the above and below as you unfolding the arm. Yeah. In the beginning, you just do it, forget it, just do the arm and then you connect the spine. But there get to be a point when you start putting it together that you have to unite all the directions through the path of balance and the relationship to the body. Yeah. Then the 4 different movements are different. Outflowing wave is different. The ascending through centers to get to the central heart is different than the wave that is taking you to suspended balance. It is different than the way that is taking you to central crown. Yeah. So notice the difference. So your mind begins to understand what is that you're doing and the muscle connection of your body, because the muscle connection of your body is the nervous system. Yeah, the muscle connections of your body is the electrical impulse of your nervous system. It's not just the muscle connections of your arm, of your body. It's not just tone or anything or building. I mean, all those things are things that we created to make us stronger. But what you refining is the wave of energy that connecting the muscles, that is the electrical impulse of your nervous system initiated in your mind. Yeah, they're all simultaneous, but they're initiated in your mind. So you get in that point, right? Wonderful. Then what you're learning today is the spiral, and the spiral, when you're connecting through the spiral, the right and the left, before it start going around to the second part, is in it's a different angle that in the angle of horizon. It's in a different angle, the second half of around the heart. It's tilted a little bit, the angle, because I'm coming from the angle of central crown, right? The angle of central crown is this angle right here. Remember the angle that we did before? the right and the left, the three angles, the angle of the uppers, the angles of true horizon, and the angles of physical reality. Those angles are very important because are connecting everything together with you. So anyway, you got clear. Remember that you have to be careful that you have navigation, constant navigation in all the movement, that you don't start getting a line in your wrist like that, because then you don't have the connection to your hands. So navigation is this place. It's not this place, right? So when you are in suspended diamond, you can't be in this place. Yeah, it's right here. Navigation. Yeah, navigation is important because it's the connection to your heart, to the continuity of the movement.
I'm glad you said that, because when you said navigation, I didn't really get what you meant, that it was the wrist.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, navigation, usually we create it very clearly. We go to expansion and touch expansion, the navigation allows us to go to mandala crown. But you know, we said time, but anyway, you know right now, the navigation is always existing. It means that the direction of the movement, the direction of the energy of the movement, it never closes the joint. The joints adjust, but they never really create a straight line. So expansion, when you get to expansion, I don't know if you can see it from the camera, I am here in expansion, but I'm not here in expansion, you see? I am here, but I'm not here, right? But I'm here. That is the continue that will allow me to go around or allows you to come in. But if I press in, I can't go around because I'm locking the shoulder, yeah? The navigation between your hand and the lower arm at your wrist reflects the relationship of the upper arm as the shoulder and the upper arm and the chest at the shoulder joint. This connection in the hand and your lower arm reflects the connection between the arm and the chest of the shoulder, and the elbow is the center of your arm. So it's important, that place. Beautiful. You got it. Very, very wonderful. I think the central crown is becoming more clear because you're learning to utilize that area, that place in your neck that is so important. This place right here, that vertebra, because it's the first vertebra that connects the thoracic and the cervical, and it either wants to go back or wants to start creating forward places in you, and you want to be able to make that path clearly in you. So with time, your body doesn't start going in and creating a circle around there or going forward. So you're always connecting in the subtlety of that movement. It is wonderful. Fantastic. I think that we did good. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to have to go now.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so I want to say goodbye to everyone, and I want to apologize that I could not get the mute. I tried to get the mute thing when Ralph was coming back and forth, and I couldn't get it on my screen, and now I see I have to go way to the top with the cursor for it to come down. So next week.
I didn't even notice, I'll be honest.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I love it.
We don't even know.
Thank you guys so much. I love you guys.
We're leaving. I love you, darling. Have
Sign
fun.
off, everybody.
Ciao, ciao. Ciao, ciao. Thank you, darling. Have a wonderful time.
Okay.
Very bad, you have to go too. We all have to go. Just saying goodbye. But next time, I apologize that I didn't have set in the living room, but I will have it next time. And I would like to work on the floors if it's possible a little bit, and work standing. We have more space. Remember that you're doing fantastic. Beverly, it was wonderful today because you're finding the circle of that area of the torso. Martha, you did fantastic. We all did great. So Lois, fantastic as always. I love you, darling. So have fun, okay? Ciao, ciao. Enjoy it.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I love you.
Thank
I'm going